Hi, I'm Barbie Sommars, and you're watching the CannaTourism Chronicles, brought to you by Wrazel. Today, my guest is the lovely Keiko Beattie. She's known for many things in the cannabis industry and is a guiding light on my personal path in the cannabis community. Thank you for being my first guest, and I can't wait to learn more about Coral Cove Wellness Resort.
Barbie, always so lovely to be with you and on this brand new adventure here at Wrazel. It's a pleasure and honor, and I just can't wait to share with you all the amazing things that's happening at Coral Cove Wellness Resort.
And we're going to do that just after a word from our kind supporter.
Shady Creek Trading Company produces and distributes cannabis-infused wild meat jerky products. Co-created by Settlers Jerky founder, Shady Creek Trading Company is an infused jerky products and distribution corporation located in Nevada City, California. Nomad Jerky Bites is their premier product, a packaged pouch with hearty bites of ethically raised buffalo fortified with THC. Shady Creek Trading Company are the innovators of the infused meat jerky market. They are compliant by all FDA standards and use cured strips of real buffalo as opposed to pressed jerky. To learn more about Shady Creek and their current investment opportunity, please visit the Wrazel Investment Marketplace at wrazel.com.
Welcome back. I'm here with Keiko Beattie, the Director of Education and Wellness Outreach for Coral Cove Wellness Resort. Keiko, can you tell us a little more about your role there and your background, too?
Yes. Well, thank you again, Wrazel and Barbie. Loved being here with you. Coral Cove Wellness Resort is located in Jamaica on the southwest side of the island, about 30 minutes away from Negril. But we're far, far from the hustle and bustle. And our mission there is health and wellness education with natural plant-based and fungi medicine. So it's an exciting opportunity to be able to bring people in from all over the world to learn about what medicines of natural plants and fungi help take care of some of our health issues. It's an amazing place. It's very tranquil. It's like a Shangri-La of cannabis wellness.
Oh, I can't wait to visit. And I love that you are working with Fungus as well.
Yes.
I mean, there is a lot of more and more research, and that's why the FDA is doing research themselves and giving it legitimacy. It truly is good medicine, particularly for mental wellness.
And legally in Jamaica, actually fungi medicine is more legal than cannabis is. It's sold.
That's interesting.
Isn't it interesting? It's sold everywhere. And here in Jamaica, there's less than 10 legal dispensaries. Of course, a lot of people can just go to the local bar and pick up some. But, of course, the medicine that's out there in dispensaries are like here, well tested, well packaged with dosing information. And in Jamaica is well known for growing great medicine, but now it's the opportunity. Where Coral Cove is located at is actually been deemed by the government as a health and wellness corridor. Jamaica wants to see people come, learn about medicine of the plant, and also all their natural herbs there too. So we are going through a wonderful experience of refurbishing, expanding, and remodeling, and we were going to do that very slowly over the year, but with the COVID lockdown, we went gangbusters and opened it up, and it's being done right now, and it's very exciting. So it's new rooms, we have built a spa and mineral and saltwater pool, and we actually built a dispensary, which yesterday we got the full licensing to have a legal dispensary on site at a resort. And as I know at this time, there are no resorts in the world that have their own dispensary.
That is amazing.
It is.
That is exciting news.
We cultivate on site for our guests. That goes through the Rastafarian Church. So that's done by donation to the Rastafarian Church. But we are associated with a 500-acre grow more around the Kingston area, and that's called Jamaica Red Moon. And that's where a lot of our dispensary medicine will be coming from.
I love it. And I love the connection with the Rastafari, because I know you as well as I do feel that cannabis connects you with spirit, and there is something very spiritual about it. And what a wonderful place to have that experience in Jamaica with trusted, tested medicine.
Yes. we are bringing the legal aspects to the forefront there, but of course it's been sacrament for many years to the Church of Rastafarian, and it's wonderful that we can honor and respect the people of Jamaica. We have a lot of locals who work with us there and who are part of the team. So it's a wonderful experience, and we have a lot of different programs and classes coming up, everything from holistic wellness, and we have Ashley Manta, who does cannasexual education, and we just invite anybody to come in. We have some psilocybin groups that will be definitely working with people who have PTSD and personal trauma. And again, we are really seeking to be able to help patients even after they leave Coral Cove with telemedicine that we're developing. And we are working on a well-rounded advisory board of people in the field of caring for patients. Because I know to you, patient care is one of the main reasons why we're both a part of this industry, to being able to help people and knowing that this natural plant gives so much comfort and wellness and balance and harmony. And I know that's one thing we really want to see.
It is, definitely. Well, I want to share with everyone your background because it's quite amazing.
I'm just a girl from Fullerton. But I grew up with my father using moxie herbs and other types of different herbology. And I thought that every young girl had to massage their father's back and shoulders and knees. But now I know, and I've said this before, that was child labor. But it did teach me something, the feeling of touching somebody and having the interpersonal connection to make somebody a capability of feeling their body and feeling better. So I studied massage, herbology. I went to Twin Lakes Holistic College. I also studied at the California Institute of Integral Studies, Esalen Institute, and I did a program at Alive Polarity Institute, which is in Orcas Island off the coast of Washington. And all of those assisted me with my knowledge of plants. I have a specialty in Bach flower and homeopathics, which is the science of flower medicine. And it gave me a lot of freedom to explore, where at one point in time I was studying rebirthing, and I saw the first underwater birth in the world, which took place in the Soviet Union during the Cold War. And I said to my husband, I said, boy, if I ever got pregnant, I think I'd want to have my baby that way. And within 3 months, I was pregnant. So I was the third person in the United States who had a baby born underwater, and I couldn't find a OBGYN or even a midwife to be there. So I know it sounds quite bizarre, but I delivered my son myself. And I didn't do it for him to be a super swimmer, and that's what they were doing in the Soviet Union. I did it because it was more of a natural form of birth, the extension of the womb. Because think of when a baby comes out of the womb. The pressures of gravity, the sound, the temperature are completely jarring. And for some, having a forceps pull them out, that's not a pleasant birth. And our trauma starts through the birth canal. And if we can do something to gently ease that trauma, for them to have a little bit more peace and balance and tranquility in their life, that's what I felt was good for me at that time.
It sounds natural to me. And to be honest, that's my favorite fun fact about you.
Is
and
it?
Your son is one of the most lovely people on the planet.
Well, I thought meeting my husband over a granola bin at the natural food store was pretty interesting. But, that is it's an interesting fact. I don't know, fun, but...
Well, okay, maybe it wasn't that fun for you.
Yes. I like my background in the surf and music industry, too.
That's definitely fun.
But always having that knowledge, that passion for being able to want to have people feel better. And this is a natural plant that is helping so many people, as we know. Their pain, their anxiety, different diseases. I mean, I know that it's a personalized medicine because everybody's body is different. And that's one thing we're looking at Coral Cove, personalized medicine and being able to incorporate it. Yeah.
Cannabis is personal, most definitely. And that's something that people are learning more every day. You know, when someone asks me for a recommendation, I can give them some guidelines, but I actually encourage them to choose their own medicine. Choose the cultivar that you think is going to work with you based on the knowledge that you've gained. Because it's not just like going to the doctor's office and putting your hand out for a prescription.
Right, a synthetic
you have to do
pharmaceutical.
Some of the work.
Yeah, and at Coral Cove, besides that information and education, we have snorkeling, kayaking, fishing.
Well, I want to get on that because I'm going to talk about, well, my fantasy vacation.
Yes.
But before that, you mentioned COVID, and I think we would be remiss to not talk about it on the show.
Yes.
As much as I don't want it to be a permanent thing in our lives, I think it has changed things permanently, and it's no longer considered a short-term thing. So I was wondering, how is Coral Cove, how have they pivoted, or what changes have you made to encourage tourists to come and feel safe? And I wanted to talk to you about international travel right now.
We did definitely work with the government of Jamaica there and their plans for COVID and tourism. And tourism is a big part of Jamaica. And so we wanted to set up for us a gold standards of procedures and having different sanitation centers as well as any public areas would always be clean, and any pillows or bedding that we had for our sessions for like psychedelic sessions would have interchangeable covers for it. And we definitely knew that we needed to take that responsibility. These are our guests. They're at our home there at Coral Cove. Their safety is the utmost important. And we really looked at adding on, taking responsibility, and making sure we were going to be a clean, safe facility. And I think we're doing a pretty good job in our pivot. We know it's just not for the next few months. It's for the future. And I see world tourism also taking that move to be responsible. And I think for people who want to travel, you need to look to the source and see what they're doing and ask questions. And, even being on a plane with that refiltered air, wear a mask. I mean, really. And
definitely
try and not just touch yourself, not so much the other things around. I mean, believe me, I love a good touch, but that's one thing I really see that we really be a lot more conscious. This is we're blind to the different types of bacteria that are out there and the viruses, and we just have to be more insightful as an individual and take responsibility. And so we are doing that at Coral Cove.
Definitely. Good. Well, I would feel safe going there.
I know. I want you to come.
I actually checked into flights this morning.
You
because
did?
I just wasn't sure what the international travel landscape was like, what flight advisories are out right now, and I found a flight from LAX to Jamaica. And then I started dreaming about what my vacation would be like, and that's why I wanted to talk to you more about the features.
Well, you would come in and check in at Coral Cove, and usually at the first dinner we would share with you our strains that are well cured and dried for consumption. And depending on what type of package you're in, say if you were to have a quarter of an ounce, and you could deem how many grams you would want of the particular flowers there. And then, of course, you can also go to the dispensary. And depending if you were on a program, if you were just there independently, having a lovely dinner, watching the sunset, you can roll and try and anywhere on the property. I mean, it's a dream come true for some people. They couldn't even imagine that there would be a resort as free as this and so supportive. And how many times have we found ourselves back in the alley or hiding behind a car and trying to be discreet and respectful.
Yes.
But here it's all out in the open. We have cultivation on site. So you can, on one morning, if you are not busy, maybe our cultivation team is trimming or harvesting or watering the plants. You as a guest would be open. You
right?
sure can. And I do know that you've had some experience in trimming.
Yes, trim camp. Well, what about the snorkeling and other activities and the food? And I also want to know about the Psilocybin Experience.
We have 3 private lagoons there, and they're all different. One's very quiet and tranquil. And I actually had asked that we build an outdoor deck platform there with pillows and bedding, so there could be some of the dives of the psychedelic excursions with psilocybin there.
Oh, wow.
And it's shaded, of course. And we do have a conference center where a lot of those infusions can take place too. And it's...
Now, is there a guide for the Psilocybin Experience, or is it self-dosing?
We actually have certain groups coming in with well-trained, educated facilitators and nurses who will be assisting people through their dives. And those are different groups that are coming in. For us independently, we won't be having that at this time. But if people came in, you can purchase lion's mane or turkey tail at many different facilities on island. So we would always encourage people to be safe and go slow and microdose in any situation, even with cannabis. I mean, having responsibility for working with natural plant-based medicine, you never know. So my saying is always go low and slow. And we'll have people there available if something goes awry, but we always want to make sure that we're having people who are taking that responsibility if they are doing anything independently without any guide.
Excellent. And I'm going to reiterate, low and slow. It's
like
the best
a turtle,
advice.
A slow little turtle.
Yes, definitely. The slow part is most important.
Yes.
A lot of times people jump the gun, they don't think they're having an effect, and then all of a sudden it's doubled up or tripled up, and they're not having a good experience, and that's not good for all of us, for the industry at large. So, it's important to be responsible with your use. And, well, I guess I wanted to talk about how the tourism industry at large is really being hit hard by COVID. We're all being told to stay home, so people are not vacationing. And how has Coral Cove handled that?
Well, we are closed right now because we are refurbishing. Our rooms are just going to be lovely, and our new kitchen is going to be producing great meals there. So we're okay right now. We're looking at opening in the fall, and I think by then a lot of us will be used to traveling in a COVID time and taking that responsibility. Last week in Jamaica, though, they had 30,000 travelers from the United States come to Jamaica. So there are facilities that are open, and I'm crossing my fingers that those resorts will be taking just as much care and attention and responsibility to keeping everybody safe. And so I'm crossing my fingers right now, and I was very surprised at the statistics for 30,000 people. But overall for Jamaica, there's only been 700 cases of COVID, but sadly, 10 people have passed away. I mean, Here in Orange County, we've had so many. There's no comparison. And that's because the island did take responsibility, lock everything down, and made sure that the residents were safe. And there were some travelers who were still there in Jamaica, and with everything shut down, it was hard for them to get home, but eventually everybody got home.
Not a bad place to get
That's
stuck.
right.
And with the low infection and death rate, I mean, every death is saddening. Really, every death of a small business, too, is saddening. The whole hospitality industry is suffering hard.
Right.
And there is a new kind of tourist, the CannaTourist, and I think it is breathing fresh air into this depressed industry.
Yes, I think a lot of CannaTourism the people who want to travel, who are into cannabis experiences, I think they're very responsible, and they're having a feeling of trust that if they're going to a cannabis resort, they know that they're usually focused on health and wellness, so it'd be a perfect place to travel to.
And education. I mean, that's something I really love that Coral Cove does, because this is new to a lot of people and they have questions. And I think it's almost irresponsible in this still infant stage of cannabis normalization, as well as the cannabis industry at large. Education is so important.
It is, and we like being able to incorporate things in our spa, in our manicures and pedicures. Some fresh leaves, the cannabis leaves will be in there, and just that vibrational plant essence is great. And then we'll be juicing leaves too for fresh cannabis juice.
Raw cannabis.
If you've never had that, it's like your Kundalini at a little plug-in Shakti pot, so to say.
I wish I had one now.
I know, I'd love to be drinking some fresh juice. And those are things that people have always wanted to experience, and we'll have them there at Coral Cove.
I love it. I can't wait to visit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do want to share that I do write for a magazine called The Retreat Journal. And what it does, it highlights cannabis resorts and a little bit of psychedelic resorts too. And this is worldwide. And I think it's a great experience to be able to learn about all these other facilities, because if we're here for cannabis tourism, this is it. We are at a new forefront of travel. And how long have we had to think, how can I go somewhere? Where can I hide it? Should I hide it in my jewelry bag, my makeup?
Don't have to go in the parking lot anymore.
No. Here, these resorts are, not all of them have a cultivation on site, but a lot of them will let you order from someplace and bring it in, or will let you go to the patio. They're all going to be different, but I do know that they're slowly going to be having more facilities that will have guests be able to come in and enjoy themselves with their cannabis lifestyle. This is a part of their lifestyle that they've never had the joy of experiencing. And how many times have maybe you've been out to dinner someplace and you had a great time? How many times have you felt like, I would just like to be able to light up and infuse? And of course, if you're in Southern California, there is the original Lowell's Cafe.
Cannabis Cafe.
Right, but it's Cannabis Cafe now.
Yeah, OG Cannabis Cafe.
Right. But here at different resorts, you have that. And we do have infused meals at Coral Cove, and we infuse it with the fresh keef from the Rastafarian garden.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
I know, it's wonderful.
Medicus LP was created after their team discovered that very few avenues existed for investment in professionally managed public equity funds. As a result, they created a long-biased limited partnership, Medicus, for accredited individuals and organizations that will invest in public exchange-traded companies in the cannabis space. Investor net asset values are calculated on a monthly basis by their administrator, Klein Fund Services, and audited annually by Spicer Jeffries. This provides full transparency for investors. Their prime broker is BTIG and custodian is Pershing. Medicus started investing in January 2020. To learn more about Medicus, please visit their website at medicuslp.com. And for more information about their current investment opportunity, please visit the Wrazel investment marketplace at wrazel.com.
I know that we're going to be reaching out worldwide to invite people in and experience this new resort. It has been a resort for 20 years. It's done thousands of weddings and honeymoon, but about 3 years ago, Steve Zenders, the original founder, went to the Jamaican government, and he did get permission to cultivate on site. And it was always his dream to have a resort that would help people feel better with the plant, because he knew how much it did for him. And now we have this team together of people from all over the world, and this is just Coral Cove Wellness Resort number 1. We are looking at expansion in Portugal, Australia, Thailand, and North America. So this is the first of many to come in the future. And I know, Barbie, we'll want to go to Thailand soon, won't we?
Oh, definitely. Everything's on the list.
Yes, I need a good massage there.
Yeah. And Well, I just wanted to close with, it sounds like Coral Cove is very welcoming to not only the seasoned cannabis consumer, but also the new person.
Yes.
Who has a lot of questions.
That's why we focus on education for the newcomers, for the people who've never even infused before. We have had a lot of guests from states that have no access, and we've had a lot of international guests, and that's what we want to see. We're there. You don't have to come smoke at Coral Cove, but we do have it there if people do want to experience with it. And I think that with other resorts, they have that welcoming spirit too. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and being able to share natural plant-based medicine and all the attributes it has to make a cannabis lifestyle so much more enjoyable. It's really an honor. And with our grow there at Jamaica Red Moon, we are also have an umbrella part to it called CannaTourism, which works on exporting. So we are exporting cannabis.
That's exciting.
It is, and it's worldwide. And right now, I do feel that sadly, because of our legal and legislative aspects, the United States is being held back from the real growth of the industry of cannabis.
Yeah. We don't even have interstate commerce.
No, we don't.
Much less international. So yes, it's interesting to watch Canada and Jamaica and other countries doing exporting. And why not be able to try cannabis from all over the world? I can't wait to the day. And Emerald Triangle, we're blessed to live in the state where the Emerald Triangle is. Many think, it's world famous.
It is
cannabis.
world famous, yes.
And isn't it a shame that it can't be shipped all over the world?
And so much
but hopefully
so,
one day.
Canada feels that because they're shipping all over, they actually announce to people they grow the best in the world, but some of the really, truly best in the world is non-accessible to the world. And that's in the Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
But Orange Hill, Jamaica grows
Shout
some
to
pretty
my
good stuff too.
Mendo, Humboldt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamaica's next on my
And
list.
Southern Oregon.
Oh, yes. We know Southern Oregon. Well, thank you for being on the show, Keiko. It's always a pleasure to learn from you. And I'm excited to go to Jamaica.
Well, Barbie, I want to say thank you so much to you, my special dear friend, and also to Wrazel for letting us be able to share and educate about natural plant-based medicine at a resort. So thank you again. I love being here with you. And thanks to the team.
Thank you, Keiko.